Hi, this is Pat Roy with the Jonathan Park Project. I'm with Duane Riffenburgh. He and his son co-wrote Jonathan Park and the Whispering Sphinx. We've been doing an ongoing interview, and I would like to pick up where we left off with this question. Duane, besides writing, you also did several of the voices. Do you know exactly how many?
Well, my main character was a boss, and I played all totaled 9 different characters. And it was interesting, when we first started doing this, we were looking for someone because the Abbas character had to go through kind of an emotional change, and sometimes it's hard to find people who can do that. And Pat was gracious enough to tell me that he thought I could do it, and really at the time I was not sure, because I thought maybe I could squeeze out one Middle Eastern accent. I had played around with that accent before, but not a whole lot. And so for Abbas, I found a character in a television production that had a great voice, and basically modeled myself on that. And then as things went on and we needed more voices in production, sometimes with a production this large, there's different characters that come in and out, and small voices here and there. And so it's hard to make sure we keep track of all of these folks. And so in a pinch, I filled in for a couple of different characters as we went along. And so the grand total came up to 9 throughout the whole album. I did a boss, I did the henchman on the plane, a bystander with a motorcycle, Dr. Bruce, he was a fun one, the imam, one of the deck crew people, Richard, and Jabari. Let's see, Richard was part of the CIA meeting. Jabari was the head of the Rashidi. And I also did some mummy groans, because our mummy voice wasn't available when we realized we'd left out the groans. So that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles.
So I've got to know, was it hard doing a Middle Eastern accent?
Well, yeah, the original thing, since most of my characters were Middle Eastern people, there is a certain accent, like you might know the moment you hear it, a Hispanic accent, or a German accent, or a British accent. And so you just study to get that accent down to find out how they would say different words. And then when it came to where I was needing to be other characters, I would just then change the pitch of my voice and the speed and the tenor, perhaps. Like, to do Abbas, basically this is the voice I used. And so I studied the Egyptian accent to try to get it right. And then when it came to needing to be like the imam, well, then I thought, how would a very old man sound? And so I used the same accent, and then put an old voice over the top of it. And I tried to change a little bit the speed and the tenor of the character. And it just morphs from one character into the next. And so every time I was given another character we had to do, I kind of thought, well, what can I do to change my voice on this one, and yet hopefully not sound like myself? So that's always the biggest challenge, is to be able to pull it off without somebody being able to listen to it and say, wow, that's the same guy again.
Okay, thanks, Duane. We've been interviewing Duane Riffenburgh. He and his son wrote Jonathan Park and the Whispering Sphinx. If you'd like to know more about that album, please visit jonathanpark.com. This is Pat Roy. We'll pick up here again tomorrow.